Not every love story ends with chaos, broken dishes, or raised voices. Sometimes it fades away so quietly it feels like a breath you almost miss. A subtle murmur tells you the warmth you once shared has already cooled. That evening, there were no confrontations, no tears. Just her voice, soft but firm, slicing through the stillness. Not tonight. Don't touch me. In that instant, I knew. I lay awake beside her, staring at the ceiling while her words settled deep inside me. I didn't have the courage to argue, to beg, or even to ask the questions clawing at me. I let the silence harden between us, like a wall too tall to climb, too solid to break. It hadn't always been this way. We once made others believe in love. Always together, fingers intertwined, laughing at the silliest things in grocery store aisles, finishing each other's thoughts without trying. She used to pull me into her arms and kiss me like I was oxygen itself. I used to wake with her fingertips brushing my cheek, whispering, "Promise me you'll never go." Strange how the same lips that once pleaded for me to stay could later push me away. We built a modest life together, no extravagance, nothing grand, but it felt steady and safe. I thought that would be enough. But love needs more than routine. It needs care, choice, and effort. Somewhere along the way, we became too tired to fight, too stubborn to mend what was splintering. Our evenings turned into scrolling through separate worlds, sitting side by side without speaking, eating dinner without meeting each other's eyes, drifting to sleep back to back like strangers who once knew each other's warmth. The first cracks weren't dramatic. She stopped kissing me goodbye. Her body tensed when I touched her. Her laughter faded before it ever reached her eyes. I convinced myself she was stressed, overworked, preoccupied. I tried to bridge the gap, small surprises, gentle questions about her day, but her answers grew shorter, her gaze further away. She was there physically, but her heart had already gone somewhere else. And then came that night. I reached for her, not from desire, but from habit, from hope. She pulled away, with quiet finality. Her words, "Not tonight, don't touch me," weren't cruel, but they shattered me more than any heated fight ever could. In that quiet refusal, I heard what she couldn't say. She wasn't tired. She was finished. I turned to the wall, my chest pounding, not with fury, but with the sharp sting of realization. I wasn't her safe haven anymore. I wasn't her comfort. I had become something she merely tolerated. Sleep never came to me. Instead, I lay awake replaying the best of us, the laughter of our first date, the way she blushed when she snorted mid-laugh, our long road trip singing off-key 90s songs, the night she sobbed in my arms after losing her mother and told me I made her feel safe. When did I stop being that? Maybe it wasn't a single moment, but countless small ones slipping through unnoticed. By the time dawn painted the horizon, I understood. Quietly, I packed a small bag and looked around the room one last time. The walls we painted together, the frames we chose on a rainy afternoon, the cozy corner where she drank her morning coffee. Before leaving, I glanced at her. She wasn't smiling, wasn't crying, just still. Not in love, not broken, just empty. I felt no bitterness toward her. Maybe she didn't resent me either. But the space between us had become impossible to bridge. Walking away felt less like betrayal and more like kindness. I bent close and whispered a goodbye. I don't know if she heard, she didn't move. Stepping into the pale morning, everything outside looked unchanged, but inside, everything had shifted. Months have passed, yet that night still echoes within me. We didn't end with fire or fury. We ended with silence. People imagine heartbreak as violent, but sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's a man walking away from a woman he still loves, simply because she no longer feels his presence. I still love her, not in a way that makes me long for her return, but the way you love something that once saved you. She steadied me when I was unsteady. She was my anchor. But even anchors wear away over time. Not every love ends in betrayal. Sometimes it ends in distance, in silence, in the cold emptiness of a shared bed. She whispered, "Don't touch me tonight," not in anger, but because she couldn't pretend anymore. I whispered, Goodbye, not in spite, but because I finally accepted the truth she couldn't voice. If you've ever loved someone who drifted away piece by piece, you'll understand. This isn't a story about rage. It's about knowing when to let go. Not because you stopped loving them, but because they stopped feeling it.